Did you know, before colonization, every continent had its own gods, each reflecting the people who worshipped them? These gods were more than just figures of worship. They were mirrors of culture, identity, and the values of their people. But African god, Olodumare, was more affected than any other, not because it was weaker, but because it wasn't just a belief system, it was life itself. It shaped the rhythm of society, guiding law, morality, science, and community. Every action, every ritual, every law, and every lesson was connected to this divine force. It wasn't something separate you went to pray to on a Sunday. It was woven into how people lived, worked, healed, and governed themselves. Olodumare was the source of understanding, a blueprint for human behavior, and the spiritual anchor that connected generations. It defined identity, dictated the moral compass, and maintained the balance between humans, nature, and the cosmos. When colonizers arrived, they didn't just try to convince people to follow a new god. They attacked the very fabric of life itself, attempting to erase everything that made African civilization unique. This is why African spirituality was hit harder than any other. It wasn't just a religion, it was the lifeblood of a people. When Europeans came, they didn't just conquer the land, they attacked the very soul of African people. They didn't just take gold, crops, or territory, they targeted identity itself. African gods that once reflected the people's image, values, and history were systematically replaced with Jesus and European gods that looked nothing like them. They didn't hide it. Statues, paintings, church art, and stories all carried European faces, European features, and European ideals, presenting them as the ultimate truth. But the deeper attack was invisible. Minds were reshaped, traditions erased, and a whole continent was told that its own divine image was wrong or inferior. Black people, so colonized in thought and spirit, couldn't fully see what had been done. They were taught to worship what wasn't theirs, to revere what erased them. Even today, many proudly claim color doesn't matter, that they are colorblind, but this is a direct inheritance of that colonization, a spiritual and psychological erasure. It's a blindness that masks the truth. We were trained to look past our own reflection in the sacred, to adopt foreign gods, and in doing so, unknowingly accept a system designed to disconnect us from ourselves. Look at Africa now. More than 90% of the culture is European. The languages spoken, the education systems, the way people pray, the holidays they celebrate, the very God they worship, Jesus and the European God, have all been adopted as if they were natural, as if Africa's own identity never existed. Black people and Africans in many ways have become the new Europeans, not in land or skin, but in mindset, in values, in belief systems. We follow rules, rituals, and ideas designed to erase our own history, our own gods, our own ways of understanding life. What was once African, a life fully integrated with spirituality, morality, science, and community, is now filtered through the lens of European thought. Even the ways we honor the sacred, celebrate, and educate ourselves have been reshaped to fit a foreign image. Centuries of colonization did more than take land. It rewired the mind, made us question ourselves, and trained us to uphold a system that was never ours. Our god, Olodumare, was not just worshipped, it was lived. When colonizers removed that, they didn't just attack religion, they sought to break identity, knowledge, and the natural order. Other gods outside Africa may have been disrupted, but African divinity was struck at its core because it was inseparable from the people themselves. True liberation isn't just freeing the body, it's reclaiming the divine that was made in your image, recognizing your God, and restoring the life and power that was systematically stolen from African minds.